Hello, I'm Dan Aykroyd, and this is Out There, where we explore the mysterious and the unconventional. Communication is a vital aspect of every species. Bullfrogs croak, birds sing, dogs bark, and humans talk. Personally, when I don't feel my message is getting across, I resort to a technique of raising the volume of my voice. It's called screaming. Sometimes it helps get my message across. But what about messages that aren't so clear? Like these crop circles, for example. Complex geometric shapes carved into fields of grain. Look at these formations. Who's making them? And why? And how? Were they produced by nature? Are they extraterrestrial in origin? And if they're man-made, then is it the work of high-tech corporations or the military? And if so, don't they have anything better to do with their time? Our guest is a man who has, for almost 20 years, attempted to answer these questions. His quest has brought him in contact with the British government, the military, and the scientific community. He's become one of the world's leading experts in this field. The amazing photos he brought with him are compelling, to say the least. So please, join us as we explore crop circles. They're here on Earth, but it is a subject that's definitely out there. Our guest has training in electrical engineering. He's from the United Kingdom. He's arguably the world's leading authority on crop circles. He's the co-author of 2 books on the subject and has devoted his life to uncovering this mystery. This is one of the books, and we'll do it again. He's certified as an electrical engineer. He's from the United Kingdom. He is arguably the world's leading authority on the crop circles. He is the co-author of 2 books on the subject. Here's one of them, Circular Evidence. I recommend it. It's a great one. And he has devoted his life to uncovering this mystery. Please, will you welcome with me Colin Andrews? Colin, a great pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Some people say that they get starstruck. I'm definitely grain-struck because I've followed your work for many years. And, boy, this is one of the greatest pursuits in science and in culture and folklore. Is there a name for your occupation?
Well, we've been termed, it's a new word, cereology. So I'm a cereologist.
Very good.
Yeah, that's the study of crop circles.
I have a 3-year-old at home. She seems to be a cereologist, too, except she uses a lot of sugar and milk. When did you first get involved researching the circle phenomenon? Take us to the first one you ever saw, that afternoon or that day. What happened?
Well, it was the afternoon in July 1983, and I was driving on high ground, looking down into a natural amphitheater, working for the British government at the time. I was driving between offices, and I looked down.
You were doing what for the government then? Anything related to this?
As an electrical engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, no, totally unrelated.
Right.
I looked down into the amphitheater there, and below me, as we see on the screen now, it was a quintuplet set. It's 5 circles forming a cross, perfectly carved, as it were.
Forming a cross.
Yeah. I looked at it very quickly. I nearly came off the road, and I pulled in. And I walked down into that field, and the research started right there. As an engineer, I could see something which was inexplicable at that time.
And you said you said to yourself, I've got to find out more about it.
Yeah, I did. In fact, it was almost like something else did. There was a distinct feeling in my stomach. I have to say that. I've never been able to explain it. I looked at it. It was as if I recognized that this was my job.
Right.
It really was. There was a kind of calling, you might say.
Perhaps you were chosen in a way.
Well, I don't know about that, but certainly I've done my job.
Excellent. Well, you certainly have. Again, this book, Circular Evidence, folks, incredible, or very credible, I should say. What did you think was causing these phenomena when you first started to explore the concept?
Well, it was a completely open mind. Coming from engineering and sciences as I do, I did approach it with a completely open mind. But really and truly, once I had tapped those, knocked the few doors in that area of the farmers, and I had access to the Minister of Defence for my job, I had seen just another 2 or 3 events following that first one, and within weeks, my leaning was towards the landing mark of something. It was very clearly defined, and therefore I would be straight up front to you with an open mind, and not to base it upon anything more than what I was looking at in the field, that I thought this conceivably could be the landing mark, a touchdown mark of an unusual object.
Right, an imprint that was left there by something that weighed.
Yes, with weight.
With weight. Okay, how have these pictograms progressed over the years from your first discovery?
They've evolved tremendously. They've moved from the simple circles that I saw then in '83 to extremely elaborate arrays. You could say it's as if a hand of nature of the most extraordinary kind is evolving. It's like a snowflake freezing with this pattern we have here, 1990. The single elements that make up that elaborate design we had seen in the previous years as single circles with rings around at times, and just in early 1990, a dumbbell, which was two circles connected by a straight line. In late 1990, this design appeared, and suddenly, from that moment on, this is the very first so-called pictogram. There's another new word in the English dictionary. Now a pictogram arrived in the field, and from that time, there's been no looking back.
Is there any historical precedent graphically for that what we just saw there?
There really is not. You see, that is why there is with this one in 1995, but the last one, no, there's not. We can't refer you to a catalog, to a museum in the world. We can give you patterns that look a little similar. Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Hieroglyphs, yeah.
Hieroglyphs, that's what I'm trying to say.
And the one before, the circle before, you say there was a historical precedent?
That was almost certainly the solar system we just saw. This, in 1995, I had two scientists, an astronomer, Professor Gerald Hawkins, and an astrophysicist working with me on this. This is a very, very accurate replica of our own solar system.
And this is a genuine crop circle?
This is, as far as we know. It was never claimed by anybody to be made. We looked at the plants with the unusual changes at the cellular level occurring there. And then in 1996, again, you could at a stretch say that, well, maybe nature's at work, because this is the Julia set. This comes from fractals, and we're just beginning to learn in science more about fractals. And there, opposite Stonehenge, it appeared. And then we move on to certainly an intricate hand of nature, like snowflakes. In 1997, this extraordinary design near Silbury Hill, and another one, which is, again, not unlike that snowflake, but it's a fractal. It comes from the science of fractals, the mathematics involved with them. And we're beginning to know a little bit more about that.
There is an intelligence behind these.
Well, it seems as if something knows what it's doing. I would say, though, Dan, as you can see here, the year 2000, whilst the patterns are generally evolving to much more intricate designs, there are spatterings in between of the more simple. It's as if to say, well, come back to square one, look at this before we move forward again. And in the year 2000, whilst we had extraordinary, beautiful artistry, to put it minimally, we also had these simple designs also.
These are messages. These are communications. Next, who are these men, and what are they doing sneaking around in the dead of night? There are just some of the people out there. There are some people out there who say they can create crop circles and have fooled many. We're going to talk about the hoaxing aspect of this, but what we've just seen are genuine crop pictograms, and the expert is here with me on Out There. Colin Andrews will return with me in a second. These are messages, these are communications. Next, who are these men? And what are they doing sneaking around in the dead of night? These are just some of the people who say they can create crop circles, and of course they've fooled many. When we come back, we will talk to one of them on Out There. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Great. Hear you well. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Beautiful. Thanks again for hanging in there with us.
No problem.
What part of the United Kingdom are you calling from?
Wiltshire, where all the crop circles come from.
Very good. Beautiful. Of course, it's all stubble there now, I guess.
Yeah, it's all been ploughed over.
Yeah, you're just rubbing your hands. Can't wait till spring.
Yeah, it is an enticing time, April time. Yeah.
Ah, beautiful. And again, we bring you out there to hear where we are conversing with crop circle expert Colin Andrews, and joining us by telephone from Wiltshire, Great Britain, is a very famous crop circle maker. His name is Matthew Williams. Matthew, hello.
Hello, Dan.
Well, Colin doesn't seem to be mad at you, and there's a shot of you up on our screen. He feels that you're contributing to the research. Why? Can you tell us first of all how you make the circles?
Well, we use wooden boards which have rope on them. We call them stomper boards, and these are used, you press down with the end of your foot and walk forward. It enables you to sort of move a large area of crop, lay it down at speed. The actual designs we plan beforehand using compasses, rulers, calculators, these sorts of things. We take them out, and we've got to be sure what we're doing. We have to use surveyor's tapes, which give us the accuracy down to the inch that we're working to, and we use posts which we put in the ground, and these posts then on edges of the circle can produce a shape. We make sure that the shape is correct before we start laying any crop down, and it takes a couple of hours with maybe a group of 3 or 4 people, and that's how you do it. You can probably see some of the video footage that we've sent in as well.
And why have you undertaken this as a sort of a hobby or an avocation? Why do you make the crop circles that obviously aren't from the genuine, unexplained source that Colin is investigating?
Well, I was interested in that genuine, unexplained source myself, but I found out that people were making crop circles a lot more than many researchers realized, and I was interested to see what the difference was between the man-made and the genuine phenomena. So I decided to go out making them, and I had a bit of a shock, really, because I found myself having paranormal experiences and other people that were with me whilst we were making crop circles.
Tell us about, give us a couple of examples if you could, Matthew.
Well, I've seen UFOs, balls of light, sort of amber-coloured small spheres of light that travel through the crop. This is in the night time, and I've seen black figures which have disappeared right in front of myself and other people. I've also taken out researchers, and one in particular, a doctor of psychology, and we were trying to show him some of the things that were going on. We had an hour of time gain, and all our watches went back, and we had an extra hour to complete that crop circle on that particular night. And, it sounds like science fiction that people who make crop circles are having these experiences, but, there's nobody more surprised than me to find out that you go out and you make these very large, what could be deemed as magical symbols.
They're almost generators of this activity. I certainly believe you. Colin, how do you feel about Matthew going out there and replicating the events?
Well, I think Matthew has become a key to discovering what this is about. I have to be honest with you. Matthew knows that I regret that it took me so long. I think he would perhaps accept some of this too, that it took us so long to get in contact with one another and to be able to trust, I guess, and to talk to one another about this. But I have certainly, with my database that already gained before meeting Matthew, I'm hearing the key elements that are discovered associated with the real phenomena over the years are now being spoken through Matthew. And I have no reason to disbelieve this guy at all. I really think that with his cooperation and with others, we will accelerate our understanding towards what actually is going on here through people that are making them, through people that are researching them.
Excellent. Colin feels you're contributing. Matthew, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Hope to meet you sometime. It's worth a trip to Wiltshire for sure. How do you determine then, Colin, which are the real pictograms, the real graphics, and which are the ones that are man-made?
Well, what we're left with is basically simple detective work, as a police detective would look at a crime scene in a murder hunt, perhaps. We're looking at access points to the crucial positions that are required to construct the geometries. We're looking for the pressure of the individual that would be making that, if indeed it was made by people. We're looking at through plant analysis of Dr. Levengood in this country, a leading biophysicist, what we call nodes. These are the knuckles along the length of a plant, which if a plant is pushed into the horizontal position by man or by...
Matthew.
Hi.
Hi, that was great.
Good.
Good.
I was quite pleased because I managed to get the paranormal stuff in there.
Right. I mean, Dan's such a big fan of the crop circle phenomenon, so...
Sure.
He's very passionate about the subject. He was really excited to talk to you and Colin.
Great.
I'm not sure exactly what's going on, so, if you can just bear with us for a couple more minutes. We're going to, break for a second after this segment, and So
just decide if you're happy with it, sort of thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a bit chaotic. It's our first official day of filming, so it's.
Oh right.
You
First show.
Exactly.
And the shows last about 20 minutes.
With commercial, I think the exact running time is something like 23:30.
Right.
So just a little over 20 minutes.
Okay. And which channel do they go out on?
The Sci-Fi Network.
Sci-Fi, yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be premiering in